Hello, I'm Marian Diaz. Welcome to our weekly live stream on spiritual themes offered by Wisdom Way Center for Spirituality.
And I'm Carly Swenson, and today's topic is impermanence.
Impermanence.
Yes. This is one of those things that I think, especially as a kid, being somewhat of a anxious child, I really wanted permanence and structure and things to be very reliable and understandable. And some of that might just have to do with my brand of trauma as well. But you know, I was very uncomfortable until probably my mid-30s with just how everything felt so changeable all the time. But I think especially with COVID, that helped me to kind of shock the system into accepting impermanence, where it really was kind of focusing on okay, in this moment, I'm okay. I'm scared, whatever you're processing, but I'm okay, and this won't last forever. These difficult times, this, isolation or whatever, it can't. Just one way or another, things change and it can't be in that situation forever. So just kind of embracing, not embracing fear, but finding comfort despite fear in knowing that things are impermanent, and kind of coming at impermanence from more of an appreciation rather than a fear. And especially as kind of COVID moved on and I, got back into my therapy and my kind of stuff, I've really grown to sort of love and value the idea of impermanence, and especially just using it as an excuse to go out in nature and just appreciate the cycles of how things grow and pass and seed and hibernate and grow. And even within that impermanent cycle, there's a permanent, but that impermanence is the permanent thing. Change is always change. And I've really started to just see a beautiful beautiful possibility in the fact that everything is sort of this ever-changing now, ever-changing moment, and that when you kind of allow for that detachment in a way and not taking it personally, that things change and evolve and move, and sort of allowing that to flow within your being has definitely just changed how I move through the world. And my present is a lot calmer because I've embraced impermanence. What about you? What are your kind of...
Well, it's interesting. I really do think there is sort of this primal, drive and need for stability, right? We want to have our basic needs met. We want to be in safe environments. And, sometimes although those things can change just as any other part of our life. So there is sort of this push and pull. And I recall, especially when my three older children were very young and they were stair steps every 18 months. It was one of the three was always kind of off or going through something or teething or getting recurring whatever infections or just learning a task, which is hard work for young,
of course,
humans. So I would kind of, in some ways, it was really embracing okay, in 6 months, the stage will be different. Something else will change. A different one of the three will be off, and then it'll just be a different dynamic. And so that was one of the spaces where I kind of really moved into this sense of not only are they changing and growing, but then I was too growing as a mother, right? And changing and shifting. So there's this line from an ancient Greek philosopher, Heraclitus, you can't step in the same river twice. And it's kind of double because the river's flowing, right? And the river's moving or the seasons are changing, but it's also you're not the same person stepping into that river again as the same person. So it's kind of this phrase or reminder that change is always there. And so having that openness to allowing it, we've done talks about allowing and letting those things sort of come and impact us and growing from it can be helpful. the other piece, I think, around impermanence too is just sometimes like cognitive, right? We can think we know it all, or we can encounter people who sort of have this like more rigid, just thinking about like rigid approaches to thinking or life or
politics,
some of the isms.
Life,
yes,
religion,
exactly.
any of it.
Yeah.
Can have that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when there's sometimes a challenge when that sort of people desire permanence in their mind and their hearts and their life, and it just doesn't work that way.
No, no.
So we can have some sense of, I have in a sense this permanent status as mother, right? Which that will be permanent. But what that means and what that looks like changes day to day.
Of course.
It changes for myself. It changes for my kids. So it's just sort of recognizing how are we living into
That's
that.
I guess I'd never really thought of how like that really is like a permanent label in that. Like not, but like, like that really, you're always, and you're always evolving even in that form.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, or even as your pets, right? Or like I even think about that in terms of my dog Spirit, like who passed. Like I'll always have some sort of a relationship to him, and that I can look at as sort of permanent. Like even from the beyond, like he comes to me.
No,
or I'll feel him. Or
no, that's really And even thinking of I think in the other like just as humans, the fact that like our bodies are temporary and all that too. I think you need that level of impermanence to have gratitude and appreciation of things, because it's that kind of whole thing like if you live forever, like so what has value then? And I think we kind of can forget that or get sort of annoyed that either we're here too long or it's not enough or whatever, and really we need that impermanence to just kind of appreciate the value of our
When I wrote that first article for our gratitude, I was talking about what it means to be taken for granted. It's like the opposite when you assume you're going to have something for a long time. For sure. I like that you added that, and that's great. So, okay, well, let's do a bit of a meditation on impermanence. I'll just invite you to come into your center and get comfortable, however you are, sitting, lying down perhaps. And what I'm going to invite you to do today for our reflection is just, might include a little bit more movement as we sort of bring that sense of movement and flexibility into our sense of impermanence. So we'll just start with some deep breaths and invite you to inhale and relax any parts of your body that might be feeling tight. Notice any stiffness or soreness you might be feeling. Just slow your breathing. Allow it to deepen. Feel your breath as your chest and abdomen rise and lower. So you continue to sense your breathing and deepen your breathing. Maybe you can notice your heartbeat. Can you feel it or your pulse somewhere in your body, supporting you, providing you with life? Notice if your heartbeat changes. Maybe it speeds up a bit if a certain thought comes into your mind. Or maybe it's slowing as you relax. So we've had some time in stillness now. Just invite you maybe to stretch a little or move around as you feel your body needs. If you're in a chair, maybe you're doing some chair yoga. Maybe you're kind of twisting to the side, depending on where you feel it. Continue to breathe slowly and deeply. Maybe you're aware of some part of your body that is calling for more attention, for more energy, for more healing. Knowing that the pains, the aches, maybe the soreness that come themselves, too, can be worked through and adjusted. Just like our thoughts and our emotions, that we can allow this time and space of breathing to really become a place of healing. So, as we're moving into our last phase, just again, bring your body to stillness. And go back to your breath. Know that when you're sighing and breathing out, you're releasing just energy, good energy, stress energy, good stress energy. Releasing it and allowing new energy to enter in. Because the energy levels in our body aren't permanent either. But knowing that these moments of breathing, slowing, can help us key into what our body that is impermanent needs right now. And we know as we're breathing that this time together will come to an end, and maybe there's some call for us in our breathing. Some action that we know we're supposed to take. Some next step on our journey of self-care. We'll just take a few more deep breaths. And then when you're ready, slowly to come back to our shared space together.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's lovely.
You're welcome. So I will say also, it wasn't intentional that we had impermanence as our theme when we're having actually the last, this is our last live stream for a while. We're going to take a little break for the summer.
Yes.
And potentially come back with the same thing, or we'll see.
We're thinking August. Sometime we'll be back. Check our social media or our newsletter. We'll have that kind of stuff available there.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the meantime, thank you so much for checking out this series that we've done.
Definitely share it and post if you have other themes that you'd like us to address. And just know that you're not on this journey alone. And if Wisdom Ways in any way can be of any support, we certainly have lots of resources, on our website.
Our YouTube, well, your YouTube there. But also, there's prompts, there's resources. We have a wonderful blog. We also have Friday Finds, which every week we recommend a different thing that's a lot more lighthearted, popular culture kind of stuff, as opposed to really heavy spiritually.
Yeah.
So yes, please take a moment to check it out. And we'll see you again in a few months.
Thanks for joining us. Blessings.